All right, well, we made it, you guys. I just drove 4 hours to buy a new excavator, and I didn't drive that far because the excavator I'm buying is the best excavator choice out there by far. Actually, it has nothing to do with that. The reason I just drove so far to buy an excavator is because of the person selling the excavator. We're gonna go in a minute, we're gonna find out the machine that I bought, because I haven't even seen the machine that I bought, and meet with Corey from McFarland's. I've bought a loader from him. I've bought a skid loader from him. Well, today I'm buying a skid loader from him and an excavator from him both. And it's because this guy has already proven to me that I can trust him and believe in him, and I don't have anything to worry about. And to me, in my book, that goes a long way. But let's hop in the store and see if we can't track him down. I think I spot him. Oh yeah, I hear that voice. Hi Corey.
How you doing, brother?
How are you, man?
Good. How are yourself?
Good to see you.
How's the trip?
It was yeah, I can't say great.
Dodge didn't break down this time?
Didn't break down, but there were so many semis in the ditch.
Really?
Just flipped over and nobody working on them, just barricaded off with like the stuff in them. Like one was in water halfway, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope that guy's okay.
Yeah.
And then another one was just laying on the side of the road.
No
I mean,
kidding.
They were, I mean,
it's still icy? I mean, it's snowing a little bit here. So.
Yeah, it's been an icy trip. All right, so I was just telling these guys, I haven't even seen the machine I bought.
Nope.
I've never laid eyes on this thing, so I'm just hoping it's right. You and I discussed this over the phone.
Yep.
We went through the specs, we went through what I needed, what I wanted, something that I can pull behind a pickup truck that doesn't require a Class A license, that is still safe to haul with a 3/4 ton vehicle. But
correct. So we're going to be like, the 40 is just that sweet spot, just because we're right at that like 10,000 pound.
Where is it?
I got it hidden right now.
You keep looking at this one and I'm like, that's a mess. I'm not pulling that behind my truck.
That's the big one that they got. This is the 80, so this is going to be your KXO 80.
How much does this one weigh, Corey?
This one's 20,000.
20,000. Okay, so that would require Class A for sure. You couldn't haul it with anything less.
But it's beautiful machine. So when you're looking at the excavators right now, we still have one, but that got updated this year. So KX71 is going to be still your original -3 cab. So you're not going to have any air in it. It's just going to be heat. It's a good price point machine. It's a 24 horsepower machine, 6,000 pounds. It's just a really nice machine for guys that are buying for like wood cutting and stuff. You know, that homeowner that's just using a thumb, picking them up, cutting them, bucking them, and it's nice and cheap because of that only heat cap. And then, so like this machine is going to be a -4. Now we also have some -5s that are out there in the market.
The one I'm buying is a -4?
-4.
What does that mean?
So the -4 is just going to be the last year model cab.
They're changing the cab this year?
Well, no, it's going to be, with the excavators, they kind of take their time on what cabs are going to get changed first. So right now, the new -5 cabs are going to be in a U55, a U44, and a U48. Or I'm sorry, a U45 or U55, KX57, and U48. Those are going to be your new -5 cabs.
Does any of that mean anything to you guys? Because it means nothing to me. I just want to know.
So those machines are going to be more in that like 12,000 pound range.
What does this one come in at?
So this one's coming in at like 10.2 with the angle blade.
Perfect. Oh, it's got an angle blade?
Correct.
Okay.
You got lucky.
Okay.
So this, with how allocations have been, how getting equipment is, you know, this is just one of those machines that we typically get straight blades. We had one come in with an angle blade, so that's what you get.
Oh, heck yeah.
Doesn't hurt to have an angle blade.
You got a couple farm tractors in here. What the heck, Corey?
Have you and I haven't been in the shop yet?
I was back here once, and you're getting me a Fendt, right?
I'd like to. We got the Fendt 300 is actually, it's taken a little bit longer before it's starting to roll into the system, but I think that thing's going to be an absolute plowing monster.
I want to rent a Fendt.
This 700 actually is going to be getting used for snow plowing. So what they're doing right now is we're putting a front 3-point and PTO on it. Tractor didn't come factory with it. And then this is going to have a fair snowblower on the front.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever seen anything with those fair snowblowers, but they show them things running through vehicles with that snowblower on the
Really?
front. Yeah.
Really?
So this guy, he's going to do some snow plowing with it. he farms full time, but this will just be an opportunity for him to do something different. So this is the KX040. As far as like, for me, this is the most bulletproof excavator that Kubota makes. We, obviously in our rental department, we've had a lot of different sizes, different class machines that are really close to this. The KX040 is just that bulletproof, no issues, perfect, you know, perfect power, perfect weight. It's just been a moneymaker for us. Obviously, size-wise, it's very doable for most homeowners, most construction guys that don't want to have to run a CDL to be able to haul something like this.
Okay, let me ask you a simple question. How does this compare to a cat?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say this is way better than cat.
Okay. So why? Why would you say that?
You and I have always talked about every time we've gotten together about Kubota.
Yep.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
The ability to just be able to get into this cab, start operating, is just hands down one of the easiest things to do. We got no extra BS of, you know, little gadgets and keyless starts and things like that. Just turn the key on, put that bar down, start operating.
So this is really the working man's excavator.
Correct. And that's how I feel like Kubota is always done with their construction line, is they care more about the guy who can just get in and start operating.
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize with Kubota construction equipment is the maintenance ability. Different things that they do. If you're a guy who just likes doing your own maintenance, and I don't know if I got this thing on lock right now, which I do. So what's really cool is you're going to have fuel filters, water fuel separator, dipstick, you know, things like that right there. And then if we come over to this side, we're going to have our air filter, a couple hydraulic filters, hydraulic fills, hydraulic levels. You know, so as far, and a battery change. I mean, for goodness sakes, when you can take a piece of equipment like this and change a battery out in probably less than 5 minutes, I mean, that's good maintenance. So all Kubota equipment is going to have stickers on the sides of them that are going to show, you know, like, so this one's going to be greasing point. We have another one on this machine that's going to give us the ability to, where it's going to kind of give us that like daily operation, and it kind of works you through what they want you to grease, what they want you to maintenance.
Racetrack.
Correct. What I haven't showed you yet is the Kubota app, My Kubota app.
Okay.
So one of the really neat things that they're doing with the My Kubota app is the new machines are actually coming out with telematics. You could actually put telematics on this machine, but outside of the telematics, if we scan a unit here, so I have a bunch of units on here right now that are going to have different telematics. But if I want to go to add your equipment right here, I'm going to go to add machine. So now it brings up my phone here. So we're going to scan a QR code on this machine. So underneath the VIN number here, we're going to go ahead and capture this.
And now anybody on YouTube can add my machine to their fleet.
Absolutely. The good thing is because this machine doesn't have telematics, we're not allowing somebody to be able to access into your telematics account.
Okay.
And even if it was, it would be particular to your email, your password, thing like that, for them to be able to add that unit for telematics wise.
Okay.
But what's really cool is it gives you fault code lookups. So before you call somebody, you can just type in your fault code. It'll tell you exactly what that fault code is. Maybe it's just water fuel separator. You just gotta, you know, dump that out and you're back good to go. It's gonna give you track maintenance stuff on how many hour readings and when you need to be able to do that stuff. It's gonna give you manuals. So all your manual now is digital. So like diesel particulate filter on this one. It's going to give you a walkthrough video on how to go through like that DEF reset, or not DEF reset, but emissions reset sequence on that machine.
What's the horsepower on this unit?
This one's going to be 40 horsepower.
Okay.
So
and it runs a Kubota
diesel engine. Yep.
Kubota diesel engine.
Yep.
Okay.
And then same as all Kubota construction equipment, it's hydraulic over hydraulic.
Okay.
So no electronics, you know, firing through that hydraulic system.
Okay. I'm gonna need the control switch to farmer controls.
Yep.
Okay.
So the beauty of that is no different than most other excavators on the market. You're gonna be just this little trap door right here, and I don't remember which side's up and which side's down. I don't have a preference. I just hop in them, and whichever way's backwards, I move it. But it's just as simple as moving that up or down.
Wait a minute, it's right there?
It's right there.
That's it right there.
Yep. So once that trap door's open, we pull it up, push that back, and now the controls are switched to whichever one.
Polish controls.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the two.
Okay. What else do we need to know about this? How about breakout force in comparison to the other models out there? Because what I really want these guys to understand is what should they look for when they're going to buy an excavator for the first time? I don't care if it's new or used, Corey. What are the things they're looking for? Like, I had my specs. I needed something I could pull behind a pickup truck.
Yep.
I wanted the best bang for the buck.
Yep.
That was another one. That's why I went with Kubota. And I told these guys, I'm not promoting Kubota. Kubota never talks to me. So if something goes wrong with this, I'm going to shout it out to the world.
Yep.
I'm going to let every Tom, Dick, and Harry know what I like and what I dislike about this machine as it's happening.
Correct.
But what should these guys specifically look for when they're buying a piece of equipment?
What are you going to do with it? So we went with trying to stay in that KX mindset. So the KX of the Kubota is going to be minimal tail swing. So it's going to have obviously an overhang off of that. The house is going to have an overhang off of the track system. The U series is going to be your zero tail swing.
Okay.
In my opinion, if you don't need to worry about that tail swing, the KX series is going to provide you more bang for your buck because of the fact of you are going to be able to get more breakout force with the machine weight in comparable zero tail swing models.
Yep.
So that's kind of that first conversation. If that is an issue, we're not going to talk about KX series, we're going to talk about U series machines.
Okay, so you'll dial it in right away?
Correct.
Okay.
So when we move, so right now currently, if we're going to move from a KX040 to the next series, which is going to be a KX033, we're talking about, I think they're about 2,000 pounds less, but we're switching to a 24 horsepower machine.
Ooh.
The other thing that I don't like about it is I feel the price is too close for that trade-off.
Yep. It's such a big discrepancy. It's like back in the day, and I've had arguments with people about my Kobelco because I'm selling my Kobelco excavator to buy this one, right? And I was just on the phone yesterday with a guy that was talking to me about it, and he's like, you know, well, how do you like that compared to the 200 Kobelco? And I'm like, the 200 Kobelco in the same year, same series, had the same power plant, wider tracks, a fatter undercarriage, more weight to the machine, but no more horsepower.
Correct.
So you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're robbing power from the rest of the machine to put it into the undercarriage, into the drive carriage. I'm like, some of the things these guys do with excavators as they're making them, I don't think makes sense.
Yeah.
It just does not add up. And if a guy actually starts to do his research and look into it, you're like, what the flip?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
And that's what's really tough to me is I feel like if you look at any brand, the excavator lineup is like this big. You look at skid steers and we're like 45 horse, 65 horse, 75 horse, 100 horse. You know, and that's kind of how that is. Where an excavator's like from a powered shovel all the way up to, on mini sizes, all the way up to like a 24,000 pound machine. You know, and so it's really hard to figure out where you want to tailor that in. And I think with a good sales team, you can figure out price-wise, hey, does it justify, you know, the pros and cons? The good con of that KX033 at the 24 horse is it's no emissions on that one. We're going to have a regeneration filter on this one. But, you know, at the same time, that's a big horsepower difference.
But no DEF.
For weight. No DEF. We're under that size of it.
Crap to worry about.
But then honestly, Stan, the next questions usually come into what you want for options, you know? So like this machine, we typically standard order our machines with thumbs now, unless a customer asks for it not. And like I had a customer yesterday, a plumbing customer. He goes, Corey, all I'm doing is digging lines. He said that thumb gets in my way 10% or 90% of my time, but he said I'd still like a thumb. I said, then let's talk about putting a mechanical one on for less price. Where for you guys,
how much can somebody save by going with a mechanical?
So when him and I looked at it, it was like $3,300 for a thumb kit, and that's just a rough price. But $3,300 for the factory thumb kit, were then like the mechanical ones, which would just bolt onto here. You would physically move it, you know, into your position.
Yep.
So those you can pick up for around $400 to $1,000.
Maybe 10 years ago we could.
So
maybe on a tiny one.
Yeah,
like
him and I looked yesterday, and there was a range, you know, $400 to about $1,100 or something like that. But for him, it was more important for him to spend the money on, he wanted a trenching bucket, and he also wanted a smooth bucket so he could keep that trench clean when he's digging his lines. So I was just like, hey, fair trade-off, let's go with 2 buckets and worry about this later. If you feel like you are missing that, let's just add it later.
We'll add it later. I mean, how much does an angle blade typically add to
It's a lot. I mean, they're fairly expensive, and that's why, you know, for the most part, we don't do a lot with them. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's between like 4 or 6 for an angle blade.
1,000?
Yeah.
Holy buckets.
Yeah.
For this setup, how can guys save money on an excavator?
You and I have always talked about used equipment.
Yep.
And I feel like if you know the person who is selling it, I feel that you can get very good buys on used markets. Because if you look at the used market, now all of a sudden everybody's just like, man, I'm doing good right now. I could get about $5,000, $7,000 more than I bought that piece of equipment 3 years ago.
And they are.
Correct.
Yep.
But guess what? You still got to pay them more to do so. So that's what scares me about the used market right now is you have that uncertainty of who you're buying from, where that machine's been, what type of, you know, did they maintenance it on a regular basis? Was it greased? Was it, you know, daily checks, all that kind of stuff?
So my question to you guys is municipalities. Would you recommend buying from a municipality? I'm going to ask the audience here because I always felt if you bought from a municipality, those are well-maintained machines with inspection records and certified mechanics and guys that know what they're doing, but I could be completely wrong because I've never worked for a municipality.
Like a lot of our municipalities in our area, like if a machine sees salt, that machine is getting pressure washed before it ever gets put away from, you know, the end of the day. A lot of those guys even have those salt rinse stations that they drive through. But I would agree, yes, maintenance-wise, their maintenance schedules are way better than most. And
buying direct from a big organization that buys fleets, because those guys typically will also have
So like
dedicated mechanics.
One of my big fleet customers that I was working with this morning, he started sending me what they call their monthly fleet inspection schedules. So we can start filing those. So when we go to resell that fleet, basically they show the whole month of daily checks on specific unit numbers that show that it was greased, it was, you know, oil levels were checked, tracks were checked, lights were checked, you know, all these things were checked. And he says, Corey, does that add value? I said, absolutely that adds
Who don't
value.
you buy from? I'm gonna say the first one is auction.
Auction stuff?
Anything on an auction. That is a crapshoot, because I bought auction stuff.
It's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot.
I bought auction stuff for decades now, and it's a 50-50 thing. I've gotten amazing deals where I'm like, oh my God, I scored. And I've gotten really crappy deals where I'm like, oh my God, that was the worst purchase decision I ever made.
What they really need to do is they need to be able to allow access, and maybe they do and I just don't know this. So like when we look at values of equipment, we usually use auctions, right? Because it's live data of what's being sold now today versus what was being sold 3 years ago. And we have to know that data right now. But what's really interesting is I wish that I could take any machine, John Deere, Bobcat, Kubota, whoever, and I could run a serial number and I could at least get the history on that.
One of the things I noticed about like the Ritchie Brothers auctions, which is a huge auction company around here, they would spray paint everything the same color, yellow, and it would be like you could walk around a piece of equipment and you could see where the rust is still through it right there, but it's covered up in yellow, and you'll see it painted over splotches of grease and everything else, and it's just like, I mean, I sold some stuff on auction, and like one of the guys, this came to mind to me, he came out and he bought one of the mowers I sold, and it had 4 hours on it. And he goes, all right, so how many hours are really on the mower? And I said 4. And he looked at me and he says, no, really, how many hours on the mower? I said, I use this mower to mow a shopping mall and then an abandoned lot, and now I'm selling it to you just to film. So it's got 4 hours. So that guy, that's one of those stories where the guy was like, I thought that was a typo. And like, nope, it's
complete scam or something.
Nope, it's the real deal. Your guys' turn next. What's the worst piece of equipment you bought, or what's the worst place that you've ever bought a piece of equipment? Because that's why I feel really comfortable coming here. Now look, I drove past probably 5 or 6 Kubota dealers to come to you to buy, and one of them was 20 miles from my home, and a great shop. Love those guys.
Great shop over there, absolutely.
But I just have a really good feeling working with you. If guys wanted to get, because you can sell used equipment anywhere.
Yes.
So, with that being said, you could sell a used piece of equipment to a guy in Florida or a guy in North Dakota or wherever, and if they wanted to reach out to you, how would they do it?
The best way, honestly, is just to call our it's 608-643-3321. I always say I don't have to be the guy. Any of our sales guys are very good.
You're not on commission?
I'm not on commission. And that's what I love. You know, my thing is that allows me to then be honest with the customer.
You couldn't be honest if you're on commission?
I don't know. I feel like I can, but at the same time, I feel like it just allows you and I to have a better understanding of we're in this for you, and I always feel like we're competing then, and we're trying to take money away from Kubota. They don't probably want me to hear that. Hear me say that.
So the first thing Corey wants me to test is how smooth the hydraulics operate in its lowest idle and then at its highest idle, and see how it compares.
You are obviously at low idle right now.
I'm at the lowest idle possible.
So as far as responsiveness to what you've used previously, then we'll do the same test, idle all the way up.
side up? Okay.
It's your machine.
Well, I know, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to dig your asphalt.
You're fine.
So I'm just zero problem. Alright, you guys, you are as close to my eye level as you possibly can get. In fact, it maybe make it a little difficult to even see. It has a 2-speed track. Low now. And now we're in high. On asphalt and turning in high speed works pretty good. Look at that. She slows down quite a bit as soon as I start to activate the hydraulics while I'm operating, which is no big deal, but some machines actually have a button that allow you to drive and use the hydraulics equally, so that it all feels very smooth. You don't feel like you're robbing from one to pay the other. That's pretty typical on a bigger machine. On a small, just workhorse like this, yeah, you're not going to get that same thing. I like the fact that it idles down so fast. Maybe that might be annoying going down the road. We're gonna do the one chain, two binder system. Let me just kind of walk you through how that looks. Yeah. It's always a little bit confusing at times. All right, you guys, well, I got the machine home safe and sound, and this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form from Kubota. They have no clue that I bought this off from Corey from McFarland's, and I would buy another machine from him because he's just plain and simply a good dude. But everything good, bad, and in between that happens to that machine, I will keep you guys updated. And if you have any experience running a Kubota or a Mini X in the 10,000 pound category, I would love to hear from you what machine you guys recommend. Cat, I don't care, John Deere, you name it. I want to hear what you guys would buy if you were out in the market for a new machine. But that's it for this one, and I'll keep you updated on how that one goes. God bless, go get them, you guys. Catch you on another one.